So here we are, the third Saturday of the college football season. Welcome back to many of you who probably thought you could win the first couple of weeks on your own and found that it's not that easy. As for me, last night baseball cashing in once again with another Raise the Bar 20-dime winner as I continued a fantastic baseball season as the Brewers got the job done 7-4 over Pittsburgh, and you got Raise the Bar 20-dime winner number 27 out of 42 for half price, just like you got all the other Raise the Bar 20-dime winners over the past 8 weeks. So today my pursuit of winning day 50 out of 77 continues, but of course it's not about baseball today. It's all about football. And also let me just note as I get to today's lineup, bear with me. Not only do I have a bunch of stitches in my mouth from oral surgery I had yesterday, and I feel like a chipmunk, my face is so swollen over here, but on top of all that, I had to get one hell of a head cold. So as I said, excuse me for my voice today, but we will muddle through this report as I've got a number of complimentary plays. With the featured one, I can't wait to talk about the game between Missouri and Purdue. Of course, last year the Tigers got bushwhacked in Columbia. Today they look to return to favor in West Lafayette, Indiana, which I've been to a couple of times. I don't know about you, but not one of the cheeriest places I've been to in my life, but hey, we'll talk about the game anyway. Listen, in terms of the major plays today, Chris Jordan, who's already gone 4-1 with his normal top-rated 1,000-star college football releases, including a big one last Saturday as he scored with Arizona State with the outright home upset of Michigan State, and is looking for college football winner number 7 out of 9 overall today. Today, his first 2,000-star double your wager release goes. It's the early game between Hawaii and Army, and you get it for over half price off, just like all the other college football major wagers he's had so far this season by using coupon code CHRIS. Let me just remind you, $1 bettors in all sports since going back to 2006 have made over $171,000 with his plays rated 1,000 stars or better. In college football alone, $1 bettors have made over $15,000 with all his plays going back to 2015. And in all sports combined, no matter the rating, over the past 21 and a half months, $1 bettors have made a little over $54,000 following his releases. As for me, I'm going for winning day number 50 out of 77. I think the best bet on the board is top-rated 15-dime winner number 12 out of 16. It's Florida State and Syracuse. You get it for half price off by using coupon code HALF. All the other discounts and coupons are over on the homepage, including a coupon that gets you 24% off your total purchase price today. It's a mix and match coupon, good for any combination of picks and or packages. Only stipulation, you got to put everything in your shopping cart at one time, and that coupon code is 24%, 24%. Let's get to your complimentary plays now. First of all, again, that Missouri-Purdue play. Last year, Drew Lock, in a start of a miserable season for Missouri, had his worst game of the season when the Boilermakers came into West Lafayette and just crushed Purdue. Crushed Missouri, I should say. Crushed them 35-3. And in that game, Drew Lock was miserable. 12 for 28, 133 yards, 2 interceptions. But listen, Lock is off to a fast start. Purdue is off to a fast start. And Missouri is off to a fast start. And Lock is off to a fast start. And Lock really could be the top quarterback selected in next year's draft. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. Let's talk about what has happened to Purdue. This is a Purdue team that is coming off a 20-19 loss at home to Eastern Michigan on a last-second field goal. And what was most disconcerting for the Purdue faithful in that game is the fact that Eastern Michigan's quarterback completed 20 of 28 passes for 312 yards in that contest. And this is also a Purdue team that lost 31-27 to Northwestern in its opening game. And you've got a Purdue team that's also been hit hard by penalties. And that's what happens when you are a relatively young team. In the game against Eastern Michigan, not only did they allow 401 total yards, the defense did, but Purdue got flagged 9 times for 95 yards. In the Eastern Michigan game, they struggled offensively. I think they were 3 for 13 in terms, or Eastern Michigan was 3 for 13 on third downs, and yet Eastern Michigan still managed to win that game on the road. So I look at Missouri in this game, teaming for revenge. Now, Locke is going to have a big game here tonight. The only thing I worry about Missouri, as this is a Missouri team that, yes, beat up Wyoming last week 40-13 at home. And Locke was magnificent, 33 for 45, 398 yards and 4 touchdowns. But can they cover that 6.5-point number? Because this is a Purdue team that is off to an 0-2 start. Do I think Purdue is going to lose this game? Absolutely. Do I think Missouri is going to win it? Absolutely. 6.5 points, though. Has me a little concerned. Came close to pulling the trigger as using this as my best bet today, but I opted to go with the Syracuse game against Florida State instead. So I do like Purdue, but I relegated it to free pick status. I think I keep saying the wrong thing. I'm so drugged up today, I have to be honest with you, for the pain. So I do like Missouri. I think Missouri would be an interesting team to put in a teaser here, taking them down to a virtual pick'em situation in a 2-team 6-point teaser. I do like Missouri, but a little bit of trepidation in terms of laying the 6.5 points. Other games today that I like Baylor in revenge at home against Duke, laying the 4.5 points. Naturally, in this situation, I would go ahead and buy down the half point on Baylor, as I always do when the line crosses 3, 4, 6, 7, and sometimes 10. Baylor coming off 2 wins against less than formidable foes, those being Abilene Christian, and then last week laying 17, winning by 17 at Texas San Antonio. Baylor has alternating quarterbacks. Last week it was Charlie Brewer's turn. He left their opening game against Abilene Christian with a back injury, but last week against UTSA, very effective, 328 yards, 3 touchdowns. One area of concern for me with the Bears is that after running for well over 200 and some yards in their season opener, they only managed 95 yards on the ground last week against Texas San Antonio. But Texas San Antonio has a pretty decent run defense. I think they're going to have to establish the run and at least be effective to keep a very good Duke defense off their quarterbacks' asses today. Now, the problem with Duke here is Duke, of course, won, beat Northwestern in their season opener. Last week, they lost their starting quarterback. That is a killer. Duke beat Army in their season opener, and then they beat Northwestern 21-7 last week. I told you, I'm so drugged up right now. I can't even keep track of things. But the problem with Duke is that Duke not only lost their starting quarterback, Daniel Jones, but they also lost one of the top cornerbacks in the nation, Mark Gilbert, in that game as well. This guy really spearheaded their secondary and was probably one of their 2 top defensive players. So today at quarterback, they're going to start a junior, Quentin Harris, who was more of a dual threat option than Jones was, who was the much better passer. And that's going to put Duke at a deficit here today. I think Baylor can win this game. Again, I do believe Baylor's going to have to establish the run against a Duke defense that's only allowed an average of 286 yards in the first 2 games. But I do like Baylor here in big-time revenge. As I said in last week's video report, when I backed Baylor, a game that ultimately they pushed, laying 17, winning by 17 at Texas San Antonio. I think this is a team that, although they're faced with still many obstacles because of all the issues during the Art Briles reign, that Matt Rule will turn this program around just like he worked miracles in North Philadelphia at Temple. And this is a big game for them, and I think that they will deliver. Another interesting game tonight is New Mexico and double revenge in Las Cruces against New Mexico State. Now, New Mexico State has the advantage of having already played 3 games. They played 3 poor games, but they played 3 games, where New Mexico opened up against an FCS school and then went to Wisconsin and had their asses kicked. In this game, New Mexico is going to be down to their 3rd-string quarterback, a guy by the name of Sherion Jones, who originally started his career at Tennessee. You know, New Mexico is not playing nearly as much triple option offense as they previously did, because they have a new offensive coordinator in his first year there, Calvin McGee, who's trying to diversify their offensive attack. What I've seen so far from New Mexico State, this is not the team that went to the Arizona Bowl last year, ending a 52-year postseason drought, and beat Utah State, a Utah State team that just kicked them from here to eternity a week ago on the road. This is a New Mexico State team that has given up a ton of points and losses to Wyoming, Minnesota, and Utah State so far. A New Mexico State team that has been unable to move the ball with any type of efficiency. Again, it's a big rivalry game. New Mexico is in double revenge here in this particular spot. New Mexico hasn't shown me the ability to stop the run so far, but this is a New Mexico State team that hasn't shown me anything offensively. So I'm willing to lay the 3 points with the Lobos in this particular contest here for this game. So your 3 complimentary plays again. Missouri minus the points at Purdue. Baylor minus the points at home against Duke in revenge, and New Mexico in double revenge at New Mexico State. In terms of the 3 selections, I would say Purdue and Baylor would be my top 2, with New Mexico being in the second tier. That'll do it for Saturday, and I wish you well, guys, and I'll talk to you again hopefully tomorrow.